Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. And finally it's happening. We see the first signs of the next update. Today I'm allowed to talk about the balance changes which are coming soon, hopefully. And well, that's obviously some exciting stuff. In the background I will show you guys the most successful attacks of our last ESL Meisterschaft match. And obviously in the end I will show you guys who exactly won. But now we're getting to the exciting part. Now we're getting to the fun part, which is the next balance changes. So we're gonna talk about a lot of different troops and a couple of different things which are getting changed. But let's start off with the wall breakers. The wall breakers are getting a pretty big redesign, and I don't know really how to call it, but there are a couple of things which are getting added to the toolbox of a wall breaker. First off, wall breakers are now they can now jump actually or use the jump spell, which is pretty crazy because I don't know, like seeing jump spells, seeing wall breakers actually jumping walls with the jump spell and then going somewhere else in the wall. It's going to be kind of strange looking. The next thing which is kind of interesting to me is this actually working? Like, maybe there are some new bugs in the game due to that, because I feel like wall breakers already work kind of like a complicated troop. So that's kind of interesting to see if it's actually going to work as intended, but it sounds pretty fun, to be honest. The next change is kind of going alongside with this, which is the wall breaker IE is going to be improved. Like, it should be more consistent when you're dropping wall breakers, that they're targeting the same wall segment, which is always nice. You always know those splitting wall breakers and targeting different walls is always annoying, but that's already a nice thing. And then the biggest change to the wall breaker, that's why I said like it's going to be a redesign, is how they work. So far, always wall breakers run to a wall, they explode, deal damage. Now this damage, which is getting like delivered to the walls, is getting split up. Now there's damage when the wall breaker is actually blowing up and dealing damage to the wall, but in addition to that, this damage is getting dealt as well if the wall breaker is just dying close to the wall. Kind of similar to the super wall breaker. But obviously you need way more, otherwise it would be basically a new super wall breaker, the normal wall breaker, you know what I mean. So normal wall breakers, you need 6 wall breakers dying to a wall at a level 10 plus wall, which basically means town 9 and up. But if there are 6 wall breakers dying close to a wall, the wall is getting opened. Obviously, if there's like 2 wall breakers actually exploding, and then there's like only 2 or 3 more wall breakers need to die to a wall, that's obviously like a thing. But if you have 6 wall breakers dying close to a wall, it's getting open, which is great. So you don't have those attacks where you have 6 wall breakers and you can't open any wall. That's a painful thing. So this is kind of nice, and it makes wall breakers more easy to use, I guess, which is kind of nice. But yeah, let me guys know what you think about that in the comments. But maybe it kind of makes it that the super wall breaker is not that necessary anymore when you're picking a super troop. Now let's get to the next troop, which is going to be the Inferno Dragon. The Inferno Dragon, or the Inferno Dragon's beam, will no longer heat up while flying or like while moving. However, the charge up time for higher damage levels has been reduced, which basically means they're heating up faster as soon as they're standing still. And that's pretty impressive against queen charges, I think. So if you don't poison, your queen is going to get melted in a second because the heat up time is way quicker now. So that's something which I think is maybe a buff, but I'm not 100% sure yet. Because I don't know how often the Inferno Dragon already heated up during flying. I haven't really noticed that, to be honest. I didn't even knew that it was a thing. So we have to see how impactful this is going to be. But I think it could be actually a buff to the defensive Inferno Dragon. Now let's talk about the Siege Barracks, because the Siege Barracks is getting a nerf. But only level 4 Siege Barracks. Because the wizards over there are getting reduced. So far we always had 12 wizards coming out of the Siege Barracks. Now it's only 11. So not the biggest nerf, but I mean it had to be noticed in here. I didn't want to skip it. The next thing is way bigger in my opinion. The next thing is going to be the change for the E-Dragons, which I think is a huge buff. But I need your guys' opinion on that, because I'm not an E-Dragon pro. So all of those E-Dragon pros out there, please let me know if this, which I'm now reading for you, is a buff or a nerf. I think it's a huge buff. Electro Dragon's Chain Lightning will now prefer targets which with the highest hit points if multiple targets are like close. So what do you guys think? I think Electro Dragons will now get way more chain value out there, because if there's a building really low, which is kind of connecting two parts of a base for chain lightning, now it's like way better because you get more lightnings out there, in my opinion. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think it's a huge buff to E-Dragons, which is kind of interesting because E-Dragons are already pretty strong, even though they're not getting used too much, but still, they're a pretty strong troop actually. So kind of interested to see how this is going to turn out, but it sounds pretty interesting. The next thing is going to be the Super Archer. The Super Archer will no longer miss targets within 0.1 tiles of her. When the first time when I read that, I was thinking like that's a joke, but apparently there was a thing. I don't know, I wasn't really using Super Archers, but well, for all of those Super Archers mains out there, it's finally fixed. Nice. Now let's get back to the next big change, because flying unit IE is getting improved, which is a huge thing, but now listen what exactly is getting changed. Improve the IE for all flying units by not forcing them to retarget when a hidden Tesla appears when the current target is better. So what this says to me is that this like stopping of loons, for example, is not a thing anymore, because they will now just keep flying and everything because they don't retarget. So I think that's a huge improvement in my opinion, because this makes Lalo so much smoother, and this is a huge buff again. So Lalo already was pretty strong, and this might be an even bigger Lalo buff. So that's kind of interesting to how that is going to turn out. But this means overall a lot of air troops are getting buffed with E-Dragons, then this flying unit IE change or like improvement overall. So that's a lot of things which are getting buffed for air. That's pretty crazy. Now let's get to the next building, which is getting like a small buff, which is the air defense, but only for Town Hall 10. The level 8 air defense hit points have been increased by 10 HP, which does not sound too much, but like making them more resistant to the lightning spell, which is kind of key, because we all knew on Town Hall 10 dragons were pretty crazy, especially with the lightning spell combination, so that's pretty nice. Next thing is going to be the spells. The skeleton spells are getting once again some love. So the number of skeletons spawned for each level has been increased by 1 skeleton. I don't know if that makes actually like a big change, but I mean, it is what it is, I guess. So we take those. The next thing which is going to be changed are upgrade and time costs. I will read all of those names of the troops out, and you guys, if you want to see the exact numbers, check your in-game like event log, whatever. There should be the maintenance in there, and there should be all of the exact numbers in there. If I would read them out, you guys would get bored to death. So the first thing which is getting changed on the first troop is the minion, like where the times and the costs are getting reduced. Then the Hawk Rider, the Valkyrie, the Golem, the Witch, the Lava Hound, and the Bowler. So that's pretty nice, especially because the game is so Dark Elixir heavy, especially for the like middle town levels where you want to make your heroes. But that's actually a nice thing. So the time was pretty good, because the last attack of our match finished, which was a triple of Jacob of actually all amateurs. And even though we got 2 triples and they only got 1, we lost this war on percent because we had an unfortunate 1-star. Either way, guys, let me know what you think of the balance changes overall in this update. Are there any things which gets you already excited? And the next thing, what you guys are wishing for the next update? What you guys are hoping for is going to be in the next update. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys back tomorrow. Until then, see ya and bye bye.